All right. So you're going to have to pardon both the road noise behind me and the construction noise behind the camera. I'll do my best to edit it out in post, but I can't make any promises. So why a diesel generator? Well, if you live in a disaster-prone area, or like me, we're in the wake of Hurricane Helene and we're without power for the better part of a week and then some, you might have noticed diesel fuel was a lot easier to find than gasoline. Amongst my research of looking for a diesel generator for my house, I found the cheapest one was $4,000 and is 5,000 running watts. I don't need that much power and am most certainly not willing to pay that much money, so I figured I would show people how to build one. That being said, I am not associated with any of the brands mentioned in this video. I purchased everything here of my own volition with my own money. Let's jump right into it. This 247cc direct injection diesel I purchased off of Amazon is also referred to as the 173F engine. It is equipped with a WSC electric start as the primary method of starting and a WSE crank start as its backup method of starting. I chose this engine because it meets the power requirements of the generator head, and the mechanical direct injection design will allow the use of alternative fuels such as waste cooking oil and waste engine oil without damage to the engine. I purchased this Northstar generator head off of Amazon as well. Rated at 2,900 surge watts and 2,600 running watts, it is equipped with both European 240 volt plugs and United States 120 volt plugs, and specifies 5 horsepower to drive at full capacity. To couple the engine and the generator head together, I am using a standard type spider coupling. The engine output shaft is a 20mm keyed shaft, while the generator specifies a 7/8 inch keyed shaft. These AC power boxes will allow us to see a digital readout of the power draw and provide GFCI outlets for increased safety during operation. The frame of the generator will be mounted off superstrut because of its affordability and modular nature. You can see what I've been up to since the last clip. Pretty much got everything bolted down, and we're ready for a test start. Yes, these are a bit janky, and that is because these 4 holes, on the engine aren't parallel with each other. They're at an angle. And I don't know if they're supposed to be like that, or that's just a manufacturing error. That's about the only way, and I know there's space right there. That's the only way that I could get the engine to bolt up to the rails. And as you can see, they're not level. I don't know if that's because the engine is wrong, those holes not being even, or the uni-strut's wrong. And that is why this is the way it is. These having to be at an angle so that they line up right. But honestly, these will be underneath the sheepskin steel that I plan on putting over it. So I'm not particularly worried about that. I think we're ready for a first start, actually. Got the fuel set on. Got the decompression lever pressed down, and it's already wound up. And as you can see, I've got my angle grinder plugged up to it. So we're gonna see what happens here, actually. angle grinder works. There we go. It does in fact work. That generator head is moving back and forth a little more than I'd like. That coupling stayed secure, and it does actually run the angle grinder at full force. Making progress. So here's where we're at with the generator. To stop the back of the generator head from bouncing around, I'm going to take this piece of all thread and tighten it down. It's already secured in one side with one of the nuts that's meant to go in the super strut. And then around here, I've got another one of the nuts that goes in the super strut to allow a nut and washer to clamp it down to really tighten that all thread around. So that's what we're up to in this portion. That worked almost perfectly. So this is what I was talking about. Take that all thread, looped it around, and then just tighten it with this bolt here. And now it's nice and tight, and this generator head won't vibrate, so it won't cause any damage to either of the bearings. I guess this is as good a time as any to put the wheels on it. change of plans. Those wheels aren't going to work. So I guess I'm just going to build the top part of it. Well, I need to go to the hardware store and get some more Unistrut, because I think you see what's happening here. I want to build like a frame, so I'm going to need some more crossbars to prevent this from happening. So after a run to the hardware store, I got some more Unistrut to finish the box, and then I also picked up some better wheels. These are just airless wheelbarrow wheels, and I'm gonna bolt them onto the side, I guess. All right, hardware store again, but you see what I'm trying to get at here with the cross brace. I'm going to put one on the other side too, and that will kind of shore up these from being flimsy. But yeah, the wheels went on great, and then you saw I just cut up these legs. Probably have to put some little rubber feet on these so they don't mess up the driveway or any other surface where you're running this generator. But it's almost done. It's very, very close. Let me bring the camera in closer and show you guys what I'm talking about. So we're going to add a crossbar just to shore up the stands. Then I added the little legs. And then I had to do some funky stuff with the wheels. Use one of these Super Strut L brackets. And then, you know, I got 2 jam nuts. And then this is not actually that tight on the wheel, so that the wheel can still spin. Then I'm going to add another crossbar that goes like this, so you can still reach in here. Or I actually might run the crossbar the opposite way, so you can still reach over and click it. You know, it's starting to look like a generator instead of just a bunch of Unistrut cobbled together. Carefully engineered by yours truly. Once this paint dries, we'll get on to installing the GFCI outlets and the battery, and then we'll be done. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I completely forgot to film me putting the ignition switch on and putting the GFCI boxes and putting the battery on, but honestly that was really simple. It's just band clamps. And I have already fired it up in its state like this, and I might need to do something about this rattle, because this rattles like crazy. But yeah, let's give it a fire. I already got the fuel set to on, and that's the reason I actually cut this out instead of just cutting a little square out, because I did want to be able to access both the throttle, the fuel shutoff, and the check plate for the fuel pump. Very important things to access on these small diesel engines, but let's fire her up. Come on now. Need to hit the decomp lever, I think. Well, like I said, it starts up, it runs, but definitely need to do something about it walking all over the place like that. Maybe get like a brake for the tires or whatnot. But it's a little noisy, but that's fine. We can quiet it back down by actually, you know, tightening down the top, rattling. But yep. You know, honestly, it's not the prettiest thing, but then again, neither am I, so I'm not too upset about it. This functional home-built diesel generator. I know I'm going to use this thing a lot to run my welder out at the racetrack, or just whenever the power goes out here, as it does semi-frequently. Well, if you like this project, I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe, because I have a lot of other things planned. I have a video on how to make radar absorbing paint coming up. I have a video planned on the car that's sitting behind me that you can't see. I have a bunch of go-karts sitting in the garage you might have seen in the background. I build a lot of interesting projects, and if you like that sort of thing, I would ask for your subscription. Other than that, yeah,